I mean, with the 94 squad, I mean, the students were awesome. Looking back at the film, there's times where their offensive line, they were totally discombobulated. You can see. So I truly believe that just the atmosphere of the crowd had a huge effect on those guys.
How much does your defense have effect on them being discombobulated?
I mean, you'd like to say that, but I mean, the one thing that you saw out there was the guys the whole week. I think the guys just did a great job of embracing the process, right? They came out on Tuesday and put in some new stuff, and it was a physical day, but we were working some coverage stuff, and it didn't look pretty. And then Wednesday came around, and they got a little bit better. And then Thursday came around, they got a lot better. Then Friday came around with the walkthroughs, and they got really, really good. And then Saturday morning walkthroughs, and they were just locked in. And it was a total team deal. You know what I mean? Like, it was the front, the back end, the linebackers. I mean, just everybody on the same page. Everybody was just geeked up. It was just great to be a part of.
On Saturday night, Dylan said he believes this team is the best defense in the country. What do you make of that?
Well, I mean, it's Tuesday, so right now we're the worst defense in the country, right? And so, like this, it's just, again, it comes back to you can't preach the process on one day and then do something different. It's Tuesday, and it is a physical day, and we got an opponent coming in here who rushes for 250 plus yards a game and got some great backs. So, all that stuff will go for naught if you don't prepare the right way and just again approach it as you got a team coming in here who will beat you if you don't handle business. So it's just Tuesday.
And with Mackay out for the first half, most likely, how do you manage that linebacker position this week? Especially in a game like this, we're going to have a lot of physical run.
Yeah, competition. I mean, Coach said it. The first thing that Coach said was the special teams has to improve, and that if you look at the guys on special teams, that's defense. A lot of that, I mean, 2/3 of those guys are defenders. So that bugs the hell out of me. You know what I mean? That's happened. So the competition for everything is really the focus this week. Everybody executing. I mean, you had starters out there on that are defensive starters out there not executing the way they could. You know what I mean? So again, it's just going back to what can get us beat, making sure that we fix those problems, not ignore them, and then go out there and just be part of what today is. Tuesday, physical day, install, make sure we know how to act, make sure our attitude is right, make sure we know how to tackle, make sure we're lining up things, communicating the right way, and then go from there. But Coach said he wants the open competition, and we'll see what happens at the end of the week.
Is it easier to get your guys to commit to that process in the wake of looking at an exciting matchup, or is it easier in a game like this where trying to stay focused on respecting the opponent and maybe coming off of all that hype?
That's it starts at the top, and Coach laid out the message, and he laid out the plan for the week, and then it's on us as coordinators and assistant coaches to again make sure that the process starts up. It's Tuesday, and we highlighted you and I mean, they will rush for 200 yards if you let them. You know what I mean? So respect the hell out of the running backs. They might be the best running backs that we've seen to date. You know what I mean? So there's no play around. There's no anything. It's like we got to handle what we got to handle. Got to make sure it's our jobs to make sure that the guys again know what to do, know how to do it, and then put them in the positions right now, and then watch the practice tape, see schematically what we want to do and what we don't want to do, and then just again fix it. We'll have meetings, and then wake up, and it's Wednesday, and go from there.
To follow up on the Mackay question, is that hit still under appeal, and is there a teachable moment to be taken from that?
That I don't know. And the coach said too. It's a fine line, right? You want them to play, and you got them so charged up, and believe me, those guys. I mean, we got to a point where it's like you had to tone them down because they wanted it bad, and so you're always trying to do the teach tapes and show them. That one was like, he's sliding at the last second, and it wasn't like a head down, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was kind of one of those things like, hey, let's see what they say, take it, let's learn from it, blah, blah, and move on. So,
how much better of a four-man pass rushing team are you this year compared to last year? And I guess what kind of work went into that in the offseason to make that improvement?
Yeah, you know what? I get this question about Coach Rule and, just learning from him, and the plan he had right after the season, it showed up on last Saturday. And what I mean by that is he said, one of the things we want to work on is being able to rush with 4. One of the first things when we got back in the offseason, hey, let's figure out how we can better be rushing with 4 guys, And so the whole focus in the spring, rushing 4. OTAs, rushing 4, pass rush, individuals, things like that. Putting the right guys in at the right times and all that stuff. Fall camp, same deal. You just show that's a master class on planning, on foresight from a coach who has been there, done that, and has a bigger view than the assistants and the coordinators. He saw this last year, and that's just a great. That's just a great plan. A year later, So the guys did a nice job last Saturday, but let's not disrespect the game and come in here and make sure that we're ready to go this week.
There's some obvious benefits to being able to rush 4, but kind of spell out what how's that help you call plays? How's it help the defense in general?
Coverage, and so Coach Rule had the plan, right? To let's improve this. And I'm going to highlight this, as much as I can, is Coach Butler coming over here and having the experience and the knowledge. Again, you see from this game his hands on the coverage aspect. You see his plan out there and mixing it in with T. Knight and what he's able to do and get done. Like, the first couple sacks came from a front T. Knight saw and wanted to put in, and so we did it, practice repped it, and it got a couple sacks from it. Some of the coverages that made him hold the ball. Coach Butler went there, saw that. Hey, I like this. Let's clean this up. Let's do it like this, and we put it together. Rob, making sure. I know Coach explained this with Bullock and stuff, but the little nuances where he wanted to throw the ball to the 2, John took away the 2, and then the 2 started rolling back inside. And John had the awareness to roll back inside with them, made Shadur go to the 1, and Tommy had sat on the route just with the wide receiver, and then he ate it up. All 3 levels. The coaches working together. The aux staff working together. The plan coming to play. That was just great to be a part of. And so you talk about again starting that plan up again, right? New opponent, new scheme. New things we got to do better. So, new week.
How excited are guys just for a different challenge this week? The last 2 weeks, people have tried to spread it out, throw it around. This week, someone's going to try to run it at you with a 230-pound running back.
This is a good preview to Big Ten ball, right? They're going to line up. They got 12 personnel, big backs. Can play action you if you put too many dudes in the box. So, never looking down the road, but it's going to give you a sense of okay. You saw the pass rush, you saw some coverage stuff, and now you get a chance to line up and set your pads against an opponent that wants to try to impose their will on you. And so again, that's why I'm excited about this challenge. I want to see the guys play with hat in hands. We go against the offense every day in 9-on-7 and just work fundamental football. And so this is one of those games that is gonna show up.
As a follow-up to that, how much can you translate from how the run defense played the last 2 weeks with those kind of different styles of play that you saw and what you might see?
Totally different. Totally different game right here. They're in the box. Again, they got big bodies in there. Again, the back, the one back is both backs are almost bigger than our linebackers. You got a 235, 240-pound guy and then another 6'4", 240-pound guy. He kind of reminds you of the back from Illinois. So completely different, more downhill, more like right at you. Some gap scheme stuff. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a physical game, and so Tuesdays kind of build you up for those kind of games.
Tony, when you look at Ja'Cory Barney, you've gone against him in practice, those east-west quick hitting things to him. Yeah. When you give him those plays and put the ball in an athlete like Ja'Cory's hands, how does that stress a defense?
Man, he's electric. The guys. First of all, we had a great look from the scout team guys last week. Roman Mangini, Kent Williams, those guys, and then going against our offense. Ja'Cory, he's a difference maker. He is twitchy. He's fast. But there's a thing with having that talent and then getting the ball in your hand and wanting to do something. Like, he makes guys miss. You know what I mean? He's a guy you throw the ball out there to, and he can take it to the house. And so going up against that consistently, helps all those DBs, man. Like, one-on-ones, everything we do against that guy, like, you have to account for him. And then lo and behold, we're seeing the same things against the offenses that we're seeing on Saturday night. So blessing in disguise to have guys like that in the wide receiver room helping us get better.
Kind of a level is Ty Robinson playing at?
Really, I mean, the last 2 weeks, extremely high. I mean, you talk about a guy who's sacks, tackles for loss, block kicks, although there's some discrepancy in there amongst the D-line group about who really blocked the kick. You know what I mean? Like those guys are kind of sensitive in there, so I don't know. But he says he blocked the kick. But, I mean, it's just extremely high. A lot of those guys in there. I mean, Ty just – it's fun to watch him just because he made a decision to come back, right? He didn't have to. He made a decision to come back to help himself, but also be around the team, continue the process that's around here, and be around the culture. And you see it taking place, and you see the excitement in him. You see the joy in him. I'm not talking about just making a play. You see the true joy in him being around here every day, practice. And he had another great practice today. Him and Nash and Jamari and those guys joking around together. You know what I mean? Like, that's truly having joy in your heart. And so the first 2 weeks he put himself in position to make plays along with all those guys, and it's worked out. And now again, it's going back to zero and just building up, putting work in every day to get him to that point again for this Saturday.
Just kind of attached to Mackay, if he has to sit out, how have you seen Stephon and Vincent Shavers come along?
Yeah, they're going back and forth. They're both now, playing special teams. They're both battling it out right now. That's why when you ask, I don't know. I truly don't know who it is. I mean, Steph is a veteran guy who's been there and done that. So now he just needs to put it on the grass and perform. And then Shavers, he's just an electric freshman. And the more he does and the more snaps he has under his belt, the slower the game is going to get. And then, I mean, it's going to be something when the game slows down for him, because he's an electric player, big time playmaker. So it's good to have the competition between those guys and see what happens.
Anything else for Tom?
Okay. Appreciate you.
Coach, what do you make of how the offense performed on Saturday?
It was good to get off to a fast start. I love the way that we executed the opening script. We continually played physical and played hard with good effort in the first half. We didn't execute at a high level, and ended the half again for 2 weeks in a row with a 2-minute situation where we scored a touchdown. So very pleased with the start, very pleased with the 2-minute situation before the half. We had to continue to prove, as Coach would say, to develop our competitive stamina and not relax when we're up 28-0.
What's the evaluation on the second half penalties?
They were penalties. It was, we have to coach the technique better, and we have to demand the technique better as coaches. That can't happen. I mean, that was 176 yards, I think, of offense and a touchdown that were called back. So that was critical, and starts with us as coaches.
Is it coincidental that some of those penalties came on Jacory Barney's runs, or is he so electric sometimes it's tough to know how guys
I think that's just a result of our perimeter blocking. Like, we're not very good at perimeter blocking right now. And we have to clean that up, and we have to improve this week, next week, the next week. Like, we're going to need to get the ball in the perimeter to win games this season. And to have the big wideouts that we have, that has to be a strong suit for us, and it's not right now. And it's not just the wideouts, it's the running backs, it's the offensive line on screens. Like when we get the ball on the perimeter, we have to improve and be able to take advantage of that.
How was it last year?
We didn't really get the ball on the perimeter as much last year for it to be a glaring deal. But as for now, right, it has to improve this year immediately.
What do you see? I mean, what are you seeing that concerns you?
With the perimeter blocking, just the technique where our hands are outside, we're holding, we're not moving our feet. It's a commitment to demanding it daily. And I think that, last week really opened our eyes up, which stinks because Coach, warns us all the time, don't wait till something happens to fix something. Like we saw this happening during camp. We failed to fix it as coaches. So we have to get the perimeter blocking right, and we're going to.
When Corey got here, how long did it take to realize he can help right away?
Pretty quick. I mean, you saw him in the spring game do some things, return kicks, and I mean, he's just so fast and dynamic. The thing about Jacory is he loves playing football, and that's what you try to recruit to. Like he genuinely loves to practice. Like he always has a smile on his face. It's continually recess for him when he's out there on the football field, whether it be a game or whether it be in practice. So I think that and his ability and his ball skills and his speed, I think that just allows him to be a special player. Hopefully he only improves each week.
You tightened up that running back rotation a little bit more last week. What did you like about just the complement the way those two guys complemented one another?
I think Ramir does a really nice job, on third downs, catching the ball in the backfield. Obviously he's got speed. The one touchdown that got called back, like people had angles on him and he was able to separate and run for 80 yards without getting tackled. So that was good to see. I love Dante's physicality. So he had an unblocked defender. He stiff-armed, got a first down, ran through a guy like we talk about all the time. Just his physicality, physical nature, I think allows him to be a little bit different as well. So I like how both of those guys competed, both those guys played. Gabe got in there at the end and ran the ball really hard. And I think Emmett still gives us a lot of availability on third downs, moving forward.
You feel about just the overall progress trajectory that Dante has taken since he got here when he had work to do and the patience that EJ has had with him to get him not just ready this year but ready early in the year.
Yeah, I think EJ and Coach Ron Brown, in that running back room have done an unbelievable job developing him. Like when he first got here, he hadn't played a lot of football. Trying to learn how we do things, our process. I mean, we try to do really hard things and it's not for everybody. So for him to be able to adapt to how we work every day and what we do and then develop his skill set as a running back, I think EJ did a really nice job of continually and still ongoing of developing him into what you see today. And I think he can get better than what you're seeing right now.
Coach Rule mentioned the other day other guys needing to match Dylan's intensity. What's that look like to you going forward, or what's that mean to you?
It just means we're not going to slow down. Like we're not going to slow down and call a game not passively, but a little less aggressive because Dylan's a freshman. Dylan works his butt off, and he can handle a lot of stuff. The other guys around him need to pick it up, and they need to start learning and working as hard as certain, not just Dylan, but we have a couple of guys on offense that work their butts off with the film. So we're pushing our guys just to match, really not match. It's the standard. Like, what is our standard on offense of opponent study, of learning the playbook, of execution? One of our three pillars is a culture of execution, and that's how we got to get. That's why we have to demand the standard to get to that level.
What do you see from Northern Iowa defensively that presents a couple challenges?
Very solid. They're not going to beat themselves. They're not going to put themselves in situations, vulnerable situations. I think they're going to make you try to drive the football for 10, 11, 12 plays, which is really hard to do in football without making a mistake. Just being able to consistently execute is what we're challenging our guys. Like, be able to go out there and put 12 plays together without, an MA, because an MA can kill you on offense. You go the wrong way. I saw it the other night. Guy comes free, and it's 2nd and 12, and that's hard to come back from.
What have you thought of the way that the offensive line's been firing off the ball, creating those lanes for the backs to run through?
Very pleased. I think they're working really hard. I think they take a lot of pride in playing the offensive line position. I think Coach Raiola does an unbelievable job of demanding the certain standard in which they play, and I think it's showing. I think that they're doing a really nice job in the run game. They're doing a really nice job in pass protection.
Hey, last year you guys had 7 turnovers through 2 games at the QB position. To have none, how big has that been just to get off to this kind of start and managing the football?
It's huge. I mean, the focus of the whole offseason is taking care of the football. Win the turnover margin, and I think that I think Dylan's done a really nice job of not only protecting the ball in the pocket, but he's throwing balls where either our guy's going to catch it or no one's going to catch it. And I think that's maturity beyond his years, the ability to do that. So very pleased to this point. We just have to keep stressing it and keeping it a focal point from now and throughout the season.
Is that concerning at all that there's a challenge being presented to the veterans to match a true freshman's level of preparation? Is that kind of more say something about them or just what Dylan has brought?
I think it's more of it's not a hey guys, y'all are lazy, you're not working hard. They're working extremely hard. I think it's a response to people who ask us, are we going to call the game different because Dylan's a freshman? And the response is no, because he's very prepared. He works really hard to a point where everybody, he's going to raise the standard of preparation around him. By no means, our guys work their butts off. By no means am I saying that the rest of the offense is lazy and they don't work hard. Like, that's not it at all. They're working extremely hard. But I think it's really cool that you have a freshman quarterback that can raise that standard of hard work that's already been done.
What have you seen from Jalen Lloyd through 2 games in his second year with the program?
Got to get him going. It was awesome to see him the other day track that ball, get the deep ball. We almost got him down the sideline. It hit his fingertips. So we have to continually get him in the offense and get him going because he's a weapon. I mean, he's put on weight. He's extremely fast. He's got unbelievable balance, ball skills. He can do a lot of different things. So his role will continue to grow as we continue this season.
Hey, Zach, going back to Jacory again, I think it was his first touch of the game. He gets on the sideline, takes a shot, pops up, signals first down. When you see that from a true freshman in that moment, in that game, what does that tell you?
It's like I said, it's recess for him. He loves it. Like, he doesn't feel a thing. I think that was good because when he got hit, I was like, oh, whoa. And then he hopped up and he's got that big smile on his face. So, we can't we don't want him to get a lot of those hits for sure. But it's fun to watch him when he has the ball in his hands.
Coach?
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
2 games in, I mean, what do you like about what you've shown so far as an offense, and what do you want to see improve now?
We've shown great physicality. We've shown, us being able to move the ball, especially on the first drive, which has been great. And just the ability to feed off the defense's energy and attack. And then we just got to work on, first and second down efficiency, how we want it, and then closing out in the fourth quarter.
Well, Coach Rule and Coach Sat talked about perimeter blocking and improving in that area. What kind of conversations are happening with Coach McGuire in the wide receiver room and as an offense about that?
Just pushing us, challenging us to challenge ourselves, to to have the mentality that your guy cannot make the play, to dominate your opponent and do it relentlessly.
How does that, like when you look at like what your responsibilities are as receivers, that doesn't come probably to your mind first. Like you come to a school to catch balls and score touchdowns, but how do you and Isaiah, as older guys in the room, approach that responsibility?
That's a practice. That's supposed to be the hardest time of the week is practice, and just like today, it's about attacking that and just going at the guys in practice. That's really all it is doing it in practice, and then so it can translate in the game.
What's the key physically to being a good perimeter blocker?
You can talk about leverage and a good base, but you gotta have the mentality in mind like I gotta go kill him, and literally like somebody in front of you, like I can't let them get to the ball carrier or the person with the ball and execute.
What stood out about Jacory when you first saw him come in, and so far in the games, what has jumped out to you about him?
Yeah, he's so talented. He's super fast. He's very confident too, and it shows the way he plays. And yeah, I think he's just going to continue to be that way as he gets stronger and bigger, fills out. Like he's going to be a dominant player.
Was Saturday a useful game in the fact you guys won handily, but I'm sure you saw it as like we've talked about with the perimeter blocking, so plenty of things like this can be fixed. Have you seen guys really take to those things that need to be cleaned up?
Yeah, for sure. A lot of tough conversations, and if you can't do the job, you won't play. Simple as that.
The mentality you mentioned of just I gotta go out and kill. Like, are you seeing that from the guys in this room?
Yeah, a little bit. Spurts here and there, but you gotta do it all the time. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it got to be. You can't. There's no half and half. There's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We all the way. So that's how it got to be. That's for everybody.
How did the atmosphere Saturday night compare to any you've been in college football?
Yeah, it's nothing I ever seen before. Nothing I ever been a part of. That's once in a lifetime opportunity, and I was very grateful to be a part of that.
You find yourself getting in like the light show and all this stuff in the fourth quarter when they started doing some of that stuff during the game?
Yeah, that game I did. Like I caught myself, just hype, dancing to it, and I did. I got caught in that moment. So for sure. But in the future, maybe a little less.
Anything else for Jamal?
Thanks, Jamal.
For sure.
All right, questions for John?
How much did nights like Saturday make you realize how special it was to come back for that 6 year in Nebraska?
Yeah, it was a special night. I mean, that the atmosphere was amazing, no doubt about it. But I'm very glad I came back. Couldn't be happier about it. Couldn't be happier about this team, where we're at. We have obviously got a lot to improve, but that's the reason I came back, is because I believed in this team, what we could do this year. So, yeah.
You played well, obviously. Makai played well. What have you seen out of Makai and just his growth and how you two have kind of grown together?
Yeah, I mean, Makai's obviously taken a big jump this year. I think us just feeding off each other's confidence has kind of helped us out. We're just very confident in ourselves and in each other and in this defense, and that when you're confident and you trust each other, it allows you to play fast and play hard and just go out there and make plays when the opportunity comes.
Obviously, he might have to sit the first half because of the targeting. What about Steph and Shavers, other guys?
Yeah, they're competing this week and to see who's going to fill that role. And obviously, we got a lot of guys in the room that can play, and so we'll see who takes that spot for the half and see where it takes us.
You and I will run the ball at you guys. I got a 230-pound back. I mean, how much is the front seven guys looking forward to this kind of challenge versus kind of a dink and dunk spread offense that you've had to face the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's big time. I think we need it going into Big Ten play. It's a good test for us. They got good backs. They got good O-line. They're very smart and they're detailed in what they do. I mean, they run the ball hard. So we're looking forward to the challenge this week.
You guys obviously had a lot of praise for your performance as a defense. Today we just talked to Tony. He said it's Tuesday. They're the worst defense in the country. You know,
Right.
Just how is he keeping you guys humble and focused? You know, whether it's the highs or the lows.
Yeah, I think anytime you play a good game, you can't get too high on yourselves. You still have to stay level-headed. I mean, it's last week. That's in the past. We're on to this week. It's a new team. Anything can happen this week, so we have to have the right mindset going in every week, no matter who the opponent is. So you can never get too high on yourselves, because as soon as that happens, then you take a dip. So we don't want that. We want to keep rising and keep improving every week.
What does Tony do that's unique that keeps you guys at that level and, takes you down a notch when, coming off a game like this or
Yeah, I think just reminding us that last week was last week. That's the biggest thing. That we haven't done anything this week. Obviously tells us what we did good, but we have the stuff we have to work on is the main focus. So the stuff that can beat us is the stuff we got to focus on. And just looking at the challenge for this week, it's a lot different than it was last week in terms of scheme. So
You've been around Ty Robinson a long time. Tony was talking about just the joy he's playing with too, in addition to playing really well. How much fun have you had watching him, take off as he had these first two games?
yeah, I mean, he's played great. I mean, when you have that type of pass rush and that type of guy up front, it makes my job a lot easier. Coverage-wise, run-wise, just makes my job a lot easier. And just seeing the joy he's playing with out there and that he's having, it's great to see, and we feed off that energy. Everybody on the defense feeds off the energy.
Saw Ja'Cory Barney pop a few, and maybe would have had more if not for the penalties. What's he like to go against as a defender, just with what he can do?
Yeah, obviously he's just very explosive. He's very fast. He loves to play the game. He's smart. I mean, he still has freshman mistakes every now and then. That happens to everybody, but he loves playing the game of football, and just his explosiveness kind of keeps you on your toes, and it's good to see for if we're going against receivers that are just as fast or faster than him. So, I mean, he gives a great look for us, and he's an amazing player, and I can't wait to see what he does the rest of the year.
All right, thanks, John.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
What do you take from the film and just what you did well and the things you're really looking to improve on going forward here as a unit?
Yeah, I think our last game was a little sloppy offensively. Feel like we could have hung up 50 if we wanted to. Just got to clean some things up, clean up penalties, and do our assignments.
And the ball you had with Dylan for 36 yards down about the one or whatever. That was part of the play, right? To a rollback throw, or what do you see on that? How did it develop in your eyes?
I think he had to just adjust. He had pressure in his face. He just made a great throw, and I trusted that the ball gets me. He trusted I would make the catch, so that was our big emphasis this week was trust. Coach Rule said that, and you seen it in the game.
Have you gotten used to or grown accustomed in practice to seeing throws like that come back across the field where he's running one way, throws all the way over to the other? I mean, or is that kind of like a, ad lib thing when he sees you down there?
I think it's just like something that just happened on the fly. You just got to go out there and make a play. Just know that if the ball's in the air, then the receiver got to come down with it or nobody else can. And he does a good job of putting us in those type of situations where if I can't get it, then nobody else can.
Perimeter blocking, the coaches were saying needs to improve some. That's probably been a major emphasis the last 48 hours, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I just think it's not that we can't do it. I think that we just need to have a little more effort. We need to start making our run plays look like our pass plays, the way we come off the ball.
You guys almost had a deep connection in the first half too. How did you look back at that one when you saw it on film, or even the way you felt on the field?
Yeah, I feel like I should have dove for it. I feel like if I would have dove for it, we would have had a big gain and offense would have scored. But I'm just glad I could regroup and make that next play.
What was the electricity like for you to be in a game like that on the field with the crowd like it was?
Yeah, I've never played anything like that before. Like I've seen on TV, I watched some past Husker games and I've seen the crowd, and it's just like it was like a surreal moment, like being on the field and seeing that. Actually, when I got home, my ears was like ringing. It was that loud.
What was it like to be in the locker room when was giving his speech to you?
Yeah, it's crazy. Bud being from Omaha, I'm from Omaha. I've always watched Bud. I see he's like the underdog, and that's how we kind of took the game. Like we're the underdog. Everybody's riding us off, and so we just had that chip on our shoulder all game, and he kind of led the way.
How much does that mean to you? He's always been really proud of being from Omaha, from Nebraska, everything that's about Nebraska. How much does that mean to you as an Omaha native?
It means a lot. I feel like Omaha, we really proud of what we do. Not too many people from Omaha, but you got a lot of great ones. And so when we do get a chance to shine, we want everybody to know. And it's just, we're going to go out there and perform for you all the time.
You get to meet Bud? Have you met him before? I mean, or was it all just like in front of the team and was there individual interaction with him?
Yes, I talked to Bud. We actually live right next to each other, so I see him pretty often.
You knew him?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's it like to when you see him maybe not in the facility here? I mean, you guys have good give and take, good relationship?
Yes, sir. He's back in Omaha. He's like a normal guy. Like he doesn't act like he's too Hollywood for anybody. He's real in the community. He talks to everybody. He's just a great guy.
Anything else for you? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
How much are guys looking forward to a different challenge this week with a team that's going to want to run it more straight at you versus spread you out?
Yeah, we're super excited, especially up front. You know we can stop the run, and we're gonna go show it this weekend.
Tony Whitehead, it was a good-natured line, but he was saying it's Tuesday. We're the worst defense in the country right now. How good is he at bringing you down there?
Oh, he's really good. You know, that's a lot of times when you go and have a performance like the defense did last weekend. You know, you can come in, be a little lax on a Tuesday or whatever. But I was super proud of the guys today. I mean, we came out humming today. We came out. We haven't watched the film yet, but it just felt like we were going out there and playing like we were the worst defense in the Big Ten. And so that's really good. Good to see, and just super excited to keep getting better this week, and looking forward to the weekend.
How much have you felt, Nash, like it's been an emphasis within the program for the defense to be able to generate a pass rush? You know, all through the offseason has it been an emphasis to be able to do that with your 3 and 4 man base?
Oh yeah, we talked about it basically all offseason is getting the quarterback with 4, being able to play coverage in the back end, and we're just going to continue to keep improving on it and not get complacent with it.
How do you work on that? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to do that. What did you guys do to?
I think the biggest thing for us is it's just a mindset. Like as a defensive line, like we want 4-man rushes. Like we want to go get there and with the 4-man rushes, and so I think for us is the biggest thing is just a mindset, and then obviously just honing our craft and getting better every day.
Is it fun coming back on film and watching like those 2 4th and 1s, like Bullock step in on the one hit and then Bayer on another one? Just how they fill the gaps there.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome to have linebackers that are coming down and playing the pass well, and then when it's time to come down and play the run, they're doing that too. So it's awesome to have guys like that playing behind the D line.
What do you guys think about facing something that's so different? You know, they're going to have big backs. They're going to try to get yardage that way. Like, not a whole lot of secret about the way that Northern Iowa moves the football. How do you embrace that?
We just go out there and we do what we do, right? Like it's a new opponent, new challenges. You study it all week, and by the time Saturday rolls around, you know exactly what you're going to get, and we're just going to go out there and perform.
Coach Roll had a good line. He'd like to play at 9 a.m. if they'd let him. How are those 6:30 games for a player? Just biding your time until kickoff?
Oh yeah, I mean the night games, obviously the atmospheres are a lot of fun. You know, we have the big light show and all that, but during the day it's definitely a challenge for me, and I know some of the other guys to kind of not get too amped up too early. You know, just sitting in the hotel trying to relax, not getting too high too soon, be able to kind of just keep your head straight, and then getting into the locker room, and then that's, you know, it's time to go then.
Hey Nash, you've been at Nebraska a long time now. I mean, you guys have never been 2-0. You've never been ranked since you've been here. I mean, just how quick has this all come, and how fun has it been at the same time?
Oh no, it's so fun. You know, it's cool to have that little number by our name, but I mean that doesn't mean nothing. You know, if we don't go out there and perform, it doesn't mean anything. So we're not worried about having that number by our name. We're just worried about going out there and working.
Nash, all offseason we heard about how wrestling and how the kind of improved physique has helped you on the field. After 2 games, how have you seen that translate?
I think I'm just more athletic this year. You know, I don't feel as heavy, as weighed down. I feel like I'm able to move better, and that's kind of the biggest thing for me.
Anything else, Nash? All right, thank you. Thanks.
We were asking Jalen about Bud Crawford and the team. What was that like, you know, having a guy who's obviously accomplished what he has, you know, wanted to be a part of it?
I was starstruck at first because I never seen him in person, but it meant a lot because, you know, he talk about where he come from and all the obstacles he had to face, and I feel like it kind of related to us, you know, being doubted every year and just coming out playing how we did. It meant a lot.
You guys heard Coach Rule talk about him during the week leading up to Friday night, and when you got back from the movie and he came out, what was the mood in the room? Was it surprise, or what? How did that go?
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. Everybody was excited.
Mari, obviously people knowing the defensive line could be really strong this season. I mean, through 2 games, have you even been surprised a little how strong you guys have been, or do you kind of expect that?
Nah, it became expectation because we know the work we put in. So these past 2 games went exactly how we felt they would.
What's it like, Northern Iowa's probably a different kind of test, maybe more old school, smash mouth. What are you looking forward to that? Just sort of a different challenge for you guys this week?
Yeah. But I mean, we know we're a physical team, they're a physical team, so that's gonna be a fun game. Stopping the run. It's gonna be a good game for sure.
Saturday was a little chippy. You and Tommy and Travis. Just what did that say about like the fact that you guys set the tone, but were also kind of like restrained and played within yourselves? Like, what did that show about the personality of that defense and just the team?
I mean, we know. So Coach Drew always talk about being like a sniper. Like you're not too hyped, but you're not like too calm. You're just in the moment. So I feel like those kind of things was just in the moment.
Much to Ty, set the tone on that first series. He gets in there on a sack, bats fall down. Just like, how much are you enjoying watching him and what he's getting done?
I mean, that's my brother. So, anytime he gets to shine, I'm very, very happy for him.
You guys haven't seen a team that's been committed to wanting to run the ball at you. You will, starting this week, and then that's, kind of the nature of the Big Ten. So knowing that, with the gains that you guys made, you're bigger. Some other guys have added a lot of weight on the defensive side, or like Nash, maybe changed their bodies. How equipped do you think this defense is to be a run-stopping unit?
I mean, I feel like we're better in the sense that everybody kind of switched their body types because I know personally I wasn't that good at playing the run, but I've seen my gains throughout fall camp and throughout the season already, so I'm ready for the challenge.
Was a lot of that work in the offseason? Were you thinking about games like this where, you could be on the field more because of it?
Yeah, because I know I wasn't a third and short type of guy, so whenever it got to those situations, I was always the one that came out, and I gained the weight, so now I'm more comfortable being in those situations.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Dylan, what do you see out of this team just after an emotional night and a nice win, about how they just, get back after it in the days that follow?
Yeah, we just got to focus on the next thing at hand, and the next thing's you and I. And last week's over with. We understand that, and we're just in the process phase right now of dominating our process and really trying to understand everyone's process. So, it makes it easy when you think of it that way for our team, and we're just excited for the next week that we have to play together.
You feel like you've gotten over the initial butterflies, the newness, just like the things that you're going to see that you go through for a first time in this program?
Yeah, I think so. The first 2 games were a lot of fun and kind of feeling some things out, but I feel comfortable with the speed of the game and everything in it. So I think now our team can take a huge step, and I'm excited for that.
When did you get to know Jacory? Maybe it was in the recruiting process some, but just when he got here too, that this guy can do something pretty quickly for this team?
Yeah, I didn't know Jacory actually till I committed, and then I found out he was going to be my roommate. And then we started connecting and being close. But ever since then, I knew he had the work ethic. I knew he had this talent. I knew he had the speed. It was just a matter of the chemistry and understanding each other. And, that dude's special, just like all our guys in our room. And, I'm very happy where our room's at receiver-wise, and I know they're excited to keep building on it.
Does he do a good job? He's had some plays erased because of penalties where he'd have yards. He just brushes it off.
Yeah, he got a quick memory. He forgets it and moves on. And I think that's the best part about him is he doesn't care what happens. He's gonna, good or bad, he's gonna move on to the next play.
What did you take away from film study of last week's game, good or bad, that maybe you learned?
Yeah, I think we played physical just like we wanted to, and I think we moved the ball efficiently. We took care of the football. I think that's the biggest takeaway from watching the tape. And I think we executed at a pretty good level. Not obviously our standard, but it worked to win the game. And now we're working on building and taking bigger steps from that game.
Last week was the first game you really took some hits, hard hits. How did you come back from that? And some of them hit. A little bit different than high school. How'd your body come back?
Yeah, my body feels great. It just all comes back to your training and how you train your body. Our strength staff does a great job of keeping us strong, keeping us flexible, and Bobby does as well. And so my body feels good. Obviously, it was sore Sunday and a little bit yesterday, but had a massage, get all the soreness out, and that's part of football. You got to learn to love the hits. You're going to get them whether you have a great O-line or you don't, and I believe we got a great O-line. So I'm willing to stand in there and take any hit for our team.
Yeah, one of those was a pretty good block.
Yeah.
On one of those runs. What'd you see on that one?
Yeah, I don't know, just during the week our coaches made an emphasis that we run this played a lot of man coverage. If he follows, you got to block him or get in his way. And I just felt like I had to do my assignment, and if our guys are laying it on the line every play, why shouldn't I? So, yeah, it was just for our team, and Jacory broke off a huge run.
What do you make of kind of the different approach the offense might, it was a lot of spread it out last 2 weeks, and now it's kind of a physical game on both sides, it seems like. So what do you make of kind of having to switch up that style almost?
Yeah, I don't think there's any switching up we have to do. We're going to play our brand of football, whether it's pass, throw, whatever it takes to win. I know our whole offense and really whole team's in it for the team and not for personal stats. So I think we all do our job. The stats and everything else take care of itself. And, I like where we're at right now.
Matt Rule says that he wants the offense to level up to your intensity. What kind of responsibility do you feel, knowing that your head coach is challenging the rest of the offense to get to your level on that front?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of keep leveling up, and as a quarterback, and we understand in our room that that's a standard, and I think that the standard should be acknowledged, but I don't think it should be celebrated, just because that's what you want out of a quarterback room, is to elevate your team, and I can do a better job of getting our guys on the same page as I am. So I'll take some of that responsibility on me, and I know our guys will accept the challenge, and they'll be playing a lot faster this week.
Can you appreciate how rare that is as a freshman to be driving, an entire offense like that?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's a blessing, but also I think we got to play ball still, and we got a great offense. So we just got to keep the wheels turning and keep attacking our goal of playing more than 12 games of football.
Now that you've settled into your routine of playing games, what do those hours look like for you? I know in camp, Coach Rule mentioned you being here late at night and texting him to ask to get your curfew extended. Like, are you still working that late at night, or is the look of that changed in game weeks?
No, I think that's just the process that I've endured over the years of people that poured into me. There's a certain way I like to feel going into a game, and of knowing the opponent, knowing our game plan, and knowing how we're going to attack. So until I get that feeling of I think we're ready, I'm going to keep attacking and keep chomping at the bit. But yeah, no, I mean Monday through Wednesday is pretty long days, and Thursdays are kind of shorter day, and then Fridays walkthrough and hotel day. So I don't think the hours change. It just your kind of shift of mindset changes because you have an opponent to get ready for. You're not really installing plays. You're game planning for the team that you're playing that week.
Is that something that's always come naturally to you, just having such a knowledge of the playbook like that, or have you had to work at that throughout your career?
Yeah, I think I've had to work at it. Obviously, I feel like I've had a head start with just my dad and being around that building at such a young age, and through the people that have taught me how to play football. But no, I mean, I've learned so much since I've been here from Coach Thomas, Coach Satt, Coach Rule, my uncle, our whole coaching staff has just taught me so much, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think it helps. Like defensive coaches are trying to help me and our quarterbacks in our process. So I think when you have a culture like that of people trying to help each other on different sides of the ball, everyone just levels up at one time, and it just takes off.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.